What are some tips for getting sound out of your Karinding? Let's first start off by talking what is the Karinding. The Karinding is a mouth or jaw harp style from Indonesia. And what it is we have a piece of bamboo that has been carved out, very expertly carved out. This one's by Abba Adon of Indonesia. But anyways, we have a outer frame that has been carved, and then we have an inner tongue that vibrates. And what happens, this isn't an instrument that's plucked. It would technically vibrate a little bit if you pluck it, but that's not how it's played. The Karinding is a struck harp. So there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve to this, but you can definitely do it. You can definitely attain sound. Now, I'll first start off by the Karinding that I like. This one's a little bit lower pitch. I think it's around a D2 sharp. Some of the higher pitched Karinding can have good sound, but you have a little bit less sustain. So I like them kind of down in the mid-range. Now, let's first talk about the grip. We want to grip our Karinding. You grip like this, grip it like this. I like to grip it like this. And then we're going to tap it. You're not going to be striking it here. You'll be tapping it on the end. If we see this in this carving, the reed is thin down here, and then it has like a big counterweight. Then it thins into this area, and then you have this block on the end. And what you can do with this, there's a couple of ways I know how to hit it. I like to use either my finger, and I'll just tap right on the end. I want to hit it and get off it. So you can actually probably even see past the rolling shutter effect. So you can see that reed is vibrating when I tap it. I don't want to strike it and stop because then it can't vibrate. So I tap, tap, tap. Use either pointer finger. Some people use their thumb. I especially, most of the time, play with my pointer finger. However, if I'm playing a higher pitched harp that I have to whack a little bit harder, I'll use my thumb. Because with my thumb, I can whip it a little bit more. I got a lot more force out of my thumb than I would out of my pointer finger. So if I gotta produce more of a whack there, I'll use my thumb. Well, let's get back to the pluck. We've got our grip, and we've got our striking technique. Try it dry first, and I encourage you, do this in front of a mirror so you can see what you're doing. Because if you're in front of a mirror, you can see how you're hitting here from this perspective, and then you can look over the harp, and you can look right directly in the mirror and see how you're hitting it here. So a good way to troubleshoot is our pluck or is our strike correct is looking at it from multiple angles, looking at it from your first person by looking right at the harp, and also looking into the mirror. Okay, what am I doing here? So I'm striking, I get it rolling. The next thing is putting it up against my lips. Now I'm going to get this rolling, and then I'm going to hold it kind of in front of my lips. I'm not biting down with my teeth. I'm not, and I'm also not grabbing it with my lips and pinching. Because if I grab with my lips and pinch, then the instrument, a lot of that vibration that runs through the reed, the frame of it also vibrates. So if you clamp down with your lips, it's going to dampen the vibration a bit. So here's what I do. I got my grip. I got my strike. I can strike this. I know what I'm doing. Then I'll put it right in front of my mouth. Kind of like if you were in archery and you were pulling a bow back, and here's your hand that's gripping the string or the arrow or whatever. You pull it back, you put it up against your jaw right here in the corner. So I like to rest it right in front of my lips. See here, even without using my lips, I'll keep it away. Got it rolling, and then I can bring it up to my lips. The more my lips are formed out around it, the louder the sound's going to get, but I don't want to clamp down on it. So grip, pull back the bow, and then your strike. And don't get discouraged at first when you get it up to your mouth and you're striking it and you're misstriking it, because there's a very particular place on the harps. You got to feel out where they're at. On this one, it's striking right here. If I'm hitting back here, it doesn't do much, but if I'm hitting kind of at the front of the block, I can really get that rolling, and it's got a nice long throw, good sustain. When you get it in front of your mouth, you can do most of the things you could do with a normal jaw harp, changing your mouth shape. Tongue goes up, pitch goes up. Tongue goes down, pitch goes down as the resonating chamber gets better. You can breathe in, out. You can add those glottal stops. And if you have a higher pitched one, or if your Karinding's a little bit stiffer, because keep in mind, bamboo, palm, all these natural materials, they tend to vary. So harps may vary. This one here is a higher pitched. I think it's around an A2. I have to really whack it a lot harder. So instead of the finger, don't get good sustain. I need to hit it a lot harder. I'll use my thumb. You see, I'm feeling around here. This one, this higher pitch one's a little bit more difficult for me to play. And in the beginning, where I was hitting it, I'm like, oh, I'm not getting good sound. So I mildly adjusted my finger up and forward, and I got a stronger ring out of it. Which is why I like the ones, or prefer the ones down in the mid-range. I don't have to hit them as hard, and they're, in general, more flexible. So yeah, in going into this, there's a learning curve, but it is rewarding when you learn how to play Karinding, because a lot of people who have played regular tooth-played jaw harps all their life, that really doesn't help you in playing Karinding, because the first main parts where people get discouraged where they go into the Karinding is incorrect grip, not knowing how to strike it correctly to keep the sound rolling, and also throttling it with the lips. So anyways, I hope this helps. If you have any more questions at all about Karinding or any other types of jaw harps, be sure to comment below. We're going to wrap it up with that. Make sure to keep your harps clean, keep them dry, keep them oiled, but most of all, be good to each other. And like, share, and subscribe for more harpery. Harp out.
Yo, 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 yo,